East End now.
Yeah.
Go a little bit underground.
Yes, I mean, I really like East End, to be honest. Around that whole area, I would say, let's put Whitechapel Gallery as the center of it. You know, all around the area, you do see a lot of just really incredible emergent art scenes. So
Yeah.
I guess if you were saying that Mayfair's taste is based on RA, can I kind of see Whitechapel as the same engine in that area?
Influencer.
Yeah, the influencer.
No, I mean like tastemaker, or maybe the first institution that really make a dam in that used to be a very rundown, dirty, filthy, dangerous, Jack the
I
Ripper
wasn't gonna
kind
say
of
that. Yeah.
used to be, you know, but it's different. It's a different kind of edginess and, you know, cool.
No, I
isn't it?
love it. You know, it just, I don't know, like, you know, the Whitechapel. I know, it's stupid, but it's quite interesting because that area, it just doesn't fit in, you know, from the outlook of it, you know, the architecture.
It is. Well, first of all, maybe we need to look at what actually Whitechapel district was like back to 1910 when Whitechapel Gallery was established during those times. So, but by looking at the architecture itself, I think it already speaks a lot. So Whitechapel Gallery, since 1910, is established, founded, and designed by the architect Charles Harrison Townsend. Okay, one of the architects. The style of the building, by looking at it, it's nothing like this royal palace at all, right?
Yeah.
So it actually is more like the modern Art Nouveau style, you know. So I think the style itself already is a very pan-European modernism style that originated mostly in Germany, Austria, and also in the British, called the New Craft movement, the one that by Morrison, by William Morris. Okay, the New Craft movement.
Yes.
And it was primarily or very much influenced by Japanese Iko-e wood printing, you know. So that's the first thing of it, that really it makes itself completely different than what the West End's aesthetic is about. Okay, and also maybe we can also pull out like a snapshot of his exhibition programs in the 1920s, 1930s. It's really funny if you scroll down the Whitechapel Gallery's, you know, exhibition history. You can see that, for example, you have like Jewish antique and jewelries, like Chinese art, or even
Very
like
cultural.
yeah, pretty like world cultural, like almost like a world culture explorer, that type of role, isn't it? Like even amateurs and art students exhibitions.
Really cool.
But the spirit is more like diversity and inclusivity, like in encompassing all kinds of notions of creative making. May you be a real, so to speak, academically trained artist, or you're just doing it in your spare time, right? And also, it was actually the first UK organization that protested against the Spanish Civil War back in the 1939. And also, it's the first space in the UK that showcased Mark Rothko in 1960s. You know, that abstract expressionism artist that at that time even Tate was not so sure that if Rothko is actually an artist or is actually a conman.
Why do you think, you know, what do you think that Whitechapel saw in Mark that Tate didn't see?
Good question. I wouldn't say that it's specific to the artist itself, but it's about how much you are willing to stand in front of the time. You know, if you say Tate at that time, it's looking into the past 5 years and the coming 5 years of art itself to represent. I think Whitechapel, to some extent, they are looking at 30 years ahead, for example.
That's really cool.
You know, they have Jackson Pollock's first exhibition as well in the 1960s, so to speak. So I think it's just a different way of seeing art, taking a gut to explore what could have happened. They might have chosen, you know, 100 Mark Rothko sounded artists to exhibit during that time, and at the end only Mark Rothko made it. made it
Yeah.
in art history, which is completely fine. It's the same as, you know, in Royal Academy, there will be 100 artists being chosen at each year that represent exactly the British art. But in art history, at the end of the day now, only a couple has made it, you know, William Morris, John Millet, and that's it. You cannot think about anyone else. So, but that's how I feel.
Interesting.
Yeah, so yeah, looking as a way of looking forward and as a vision, and also the spirit of being inclusive to all kinds of creative talents. You know, for example, Whitechapel even had an exhibition during the 1930s, almost the interwar period, called the East End Academy, and in which they showcase works not only from professional trained artists, but also you know, everyday workers and who make art at their spare time. And also, it's a very interesting and cheeky, you know, gesture. The East End Academy versus the Royal Academy from the West End.
That's funny.
Yeah, like a quote here said that Dockers are among the artists at the 6th exhibition of the East End Academy.
Okay, I didn't know they have that background. Do you think it changed a lot from back then until today? Like, do you think Whitechapel still kind of keep the same spirit?
I would say for sure Whitechapel has a different image as compared to the West End, let's say Royal Academy, given the show that they had. For example, last year they have a show. It's about the emerging mid-career established, probably not all European-based artists. Some feature, you know, who's coming from Asia, some are from, let's say, Latin America, like Ana Marino Maulino also is another retrospect last year. But let's don't get too technical here, because if you really want to see, you can go. Right, but my point being that I think Whitechapel laid down a very good framework to inspire the whole area to grow into a place where we are looking for something more, you know, edgy, something more looking into the uncertain of the future, and we're willing to take a bet in presenting something that maybe in the next 15 years is not going to be seen as art.